So please, let's continue because the coffee is not ready.
Ah, ok.
So let's
Donc, ça va.
continue with the next presentation. And after the next presentation, we can have some briefing and we will discuss. So welcome to Professor Mariam Sina. Let me give you the mic. I know you're sick. She's sick. So that's you can say some few words.
Bonjour tout le monde. Comme je suis asthmatique, c'est difficile pour moi de parler cet après-midi. I just want to say hi to Rob and Elizabeth. Welcome in Mali, and it was very nice to meet you again. Okay.
So thank you, Prof. So we'll give the floor to Elizabeth. So Elizabeth is going to talk in sketch. The biosketch is very important. I remember, I don't know, it's more than 15 years now, we have applied for a grant and the result came out. The result was the grant was not efficace. It means that we don't have any score. And we received a summary statement. The summary statement is a comment from the reviewer. When we receive the comments and we read the summary statement, and Rob told us, I know what's happened. Because your bioskills are weak. So he come here for 1 week in Bamako, and he said, one word, I'm going to recreate you. The basket is recreating you. No, you have to recreate yourself. Because people who are reading your basket, they don't know you. They don't know what you are doing. They don't even know where's money. So they just read what you have in your basket. So the basket must reflect what you are and what skill you have. So, yeah.
Hello.
Are you going to speak French?
No.
In French?
No. The biosketch must be in English, so I will speak English.
Put the microphone closer to you.
Sorry. Sorry, well, I'll get this ready. So for this presentation, the idea here stands the different parts of the biosketch. That way you can go and write it yourself. I am not a scientific advisor. So after you write your biosketch, I highly, highly recommend that you ask your mentor to look at it too, to make sure that it then makes sense with the science. Are you going to? Oh, all right. Okay, and then the second aspect to tell you is that NIH now requires that you must use Science CD to create your biosketch. So in this presentation, I will show you with screenshots how to do that, and then I will share, Somalia has the presentation, he can email it so you can do it at home later with the screenshots, okay? Okay, so your biosketch is messy. All right. No. Alright. Okay. So your biosketch is short for a biographical sketch. So as Al-Mustafa said a moment ago, this needs to tell about you as a scientist. You have to think about it as your science CV. It tells about your research history, your leadership in science, the positions that you've had. All right, so let's go into the technical creed. Okay, so again, you will get these slides so that you can try it at home later. But the tool in my NCBI, so you find my NCBI from PubMed. I hope you are familiar with PubMed. This will automatically download your biosketch into the correct format every time. So it can download it into Word or download it into PDF every time. You can use it for both NIH or NSF, so National Institute of Health US or National Science Foundation US. You can use for both. And as of May, you must use this system. So I do ask for everyone, especially if you may be a co-investigator on one of the coming renewals, to go home and try to figure out how to make your biosketch in Science CV, because this will be required for any applications if your name is listed. Okay, so it's in your own section of My NCBI. Again, we're gonna look at some screenshots together so that it'll be very clear for you on where to find it. And then to access, you go to My Bibliography. So this one. Okay, so just one moment. So you log into My NCBI. So the top of the PubMed page there, you'll see that I put a little purple arrow where it says login. That's where you'll click at first. You use your area comments. That would be the best one. So if you do not have an area comments, ask to get them. All right, so again, they have also switched over where they are encouraging only area comments. So once you press login, it will bring you to this page. So you'll see this. And after you log in, you'll see your name, your username appear up at the top. So we're looking at mine as an example, going through. Later, I have some screenshots of Rob's things, and he will be our example. And after you click on your name, you have a little drop-down menu that says dashboard and go there. So follow the arrows when you're trying it on your own. And then you'll see this box. So this box is normally in the bottom right corner of the page. And you'll see the Science CV at the top. So this allows you to save biosketches with different subject matters. So maybe there's a biosketch that you are a co-investigator on and it is TB related. And then maybe there's another branch that you are a co-investigator on, but it's HIV related. This is where you can have one biosketch tailored for each version, showing your research history in those areas. Okay, getting started. The top of the biosketch. This is the background information. Okay. All right, so in the system, you'll see something like this where you enter your name and your basic information. Make sure this is your name that matches your name with your employment. So it should be your official name, not a nickname, not something else. Make sure it matches. All right, and so I use Rob as an example here. This is Rob's official appointment. Robert L. Murphy, MD, Executive Director. You see all of his official titles. And then on the other side is the less formal one. So when you enter it into this comment, you want to use the formal with your official titles. I even updated it with internship. So consistency, make sure you have everything, you're using the official with your institution. All right, this is also where you'll link your ERA Commons again. So even if you log in using your ERA Commons account, when you're in Science CV, you'll need to link it again. So just click this button. The reason that you want to do this is this system will automatically pull your publications and put them in the correct citation so that you don't have to do that. Okay, so the next section that you fill in Science CV is your education and training. This would be all of the places where you received degrees. So your MBBS, MD, MS, MA, PhD, your fellowship. If it's an official post-bachelor certificate or post-master certificate, this is not where you would put every training certificate that you went to. They must be official, accredited, registered ones that you would list them there, or official fellowships that you would put there. Okay, personal statement. Okay, so the section A, you'll see this box of personal statement, and you'll click edit statement to add this paragraph. Again, I'm showing you all of the screenshots so that when you go home, you can click right through it and it will look familiar to you. So in this section, and this is where you really want to make sure you describe yourself. Who are you? Again, as Al Mustafa gave the example, they don't know who you are if you don't tell them. What research have you done? What degrees have you completed? Why should you work on this project? Why are you someone who could be a co-investigator? This is where you would also put if you've had a leadership experience, like let's say maybe you were chief resident and it's relevant to the topic area, maybe you were a leader in a lab or something like that. This is where you would add those leadership experiences as well. Okay, so again, this is where you also highlight some experiences. So if I'm going to use an example of our renewal. So let's say that we have asked you to be a co-investigator on our renewal. We would like for you to then also show how you have worked with Northwestern. So who have you worked with? Was it on a specific project? Were you doing something in Mali for it? Were you collecting? Were you in the lab? Were you doing analysis? What were you doing? Again, this should really talk about you. So be specific to what you've done, what you know, your experience. Okay, and again, this is where you make sure that you indicate if you've produced research projects under another name. So if you're married and you have a maiden name, you can add that sentence here to let the reviewers know that your name may have changed. And then this would also be, make sure, we're going to talk about the contributions to science later. Make sure you're remembering each of these different sections and how they complement each other when you make the biosketch. And then, so underneath your biosketch, you can pick 4 publications. Generally, you should choose publications where you have co-authored with someone else that you are applying on the grant. Hopefully, this is in a subject matter that's related to what you're applying at. So if we're continuing the D43 and HIV/TB, you would list a publication that's maybe in that subject area where you have maybe published with your mentor, with other individuals listed on the grant. You may also cite grants, so if you are a co-investigator, if you have a K award on another grant, this is where you would cite those grants because that shows the research experience that you are working on other projects. Okay, and again, this is just a little bit of an example of what you would show in the section. Mainly, that's why I have it bolded, we really look at publications. However, I have this here because we do have some engineers. So it may be the case where if something does get patented or developed, that would be the case. Sorry. But yes, this is mainly where you put publications. If you are a new researcher and you don't have many publications and you don't have a lot of publications you can list, this is where you could put maybe a conference abstract. So you could add something like that. But once you start to have publications, once you get those out, you should replace those with publications. All right, positions and honors. This should be relatively explanatory. This is all of your employment positions that you've had, starting once you've been an undergrad. So if you were a laboratory assistant, if you've worked with a research assistant with clinical trials or something in that area, you would list all of your different employments. Your honors, if you graduated with honors, if you were awarded a scholarship, a fellowship, anything like that, you would make sure to list all of these. All right, for your positions, once you put them in the system, it will actually put it in order for you. So these are, you hopefully will not need to do any ordering, but it should be your most present to the oldest at the bottom, at the last. Make sure you are listing the positions with the names that they were called when you were employed. So if your employer called it a clinical research coordinator, make sure you call it clinical research coordinator, not like a assistant or something. Make sure you use the formal title of the role that you have. Okay, contributions to science. This is a section that I see people have the most trouble with, and it is a little different than what you would normally think. So for contributions to science, you can think of it as having 5 different parts to it. Because what you don't want to do is just list a bunch. They're not asking you to list a bunch of publications. What they want for you to do is really describe about something scientific that you've done to show your experience and work. Okay, so for each contribution, you're going to tell a little bit about the scientific problem that you're talking about. Again, don't assume, because often the reviewers may be from a variety of scientific backgrounds. They may not know exactly the area that you're talking about, or it may not be the most current. So maybe add like a sentence or 2 in there just to introduce it. Like, what is the current HIV rate of Mali? What is the current TB rates of Mali? Your reviewer may not know, so this will give them an idea of like what area of science that you were talking about. Talk then about what you specifically did, like if you did a publication in that area, talk about your central findings of that publication, or what you did, what your role was in finding that. What scientifically did you do that makes it to where you should be the person on this project? And again, this is just a little bit of continuing because we're going to get these slides, so hopefully this will help you brainstorm and think about what you need to do. But again, what was the role? What are like tangible examples? So like publication, maybe a policy that was made, maybe a change in your institution or something. What were some results that you can list in that paragraph talking about from the work that you did? How may you be involved in a proposed project, and how does this relate to it? These are some areas that you can expand on. If you are not an author on a publication, but you did help support the project, you can cite how you did that if you're newer to research. You can say, I helped manage, or I helped put this through for the team. So I learned about the research project through doing that. Get advice for new researchers. Really think out of the box a little bit of areas where you think that you made a contribution with your team. Again, don't overthink, don't overmake it big. Just think creatively, like, did I help pull this data together? Did I help clean the data? And then once you do your first draft of your biosketch, you should be asking your mentor to help look at it so they can help see the scientific aspect of it. All right, again, you'll have these slides. This is just to help you brainstorm and think about different ways. All right, so each contribution to science should have citations underneath it, so it should have publications. So you can list, I believe it's 4 publications under each one, or 5. So make sure you cite the publications. They should not be older than 10 years old. And again, if you've co-authored on these subject areas with people that you're submitting the grant with, it's a good idea to have those show as well within these different contributions. What not to do in contribution to science, and these are, I list these out because I have seen this. Don't just do a list of 20 publications without explaining them. That does not tell the reviewer what your role was, how you understand the publication that was done, things like that. Don't make too general of a statement of HIV is a big problem. Like, they need to make sure that you understand the science as well, you know what you're writing about. No tables or figures or things like that. Go ahead. No problem. No problem. Okay, so I pulled this actually from Rob's biosketch just to show you an example of what a contribution to science looks like. So you'll see he has the paragraph up top where he talks about his history, and he really talks about what he did in the field for that area of science. And then he lists the publications underneath it with his name bolded for showing where he is in the author list. So I show this to you because this is something I see people have the most confusion with biosketches. So this is what that section should look like, and you are allowed to have up to 5 of them. Okay, and then I link a resource here for you too. So again, once you get the slides, if you click on that link, it'll show you and walk you through examples. NIH also has like a frequently asked questions that you can ask, look at questions and see if you have something. Okay, thank you.
So we can have one or two questions.
Yeah. Any question? Est-ce qu'il y a des questions? Apparemment, vous ne parlez pas parce qu'il y a l'anglais. Oui, donc, mais il faut vraiment que vous posez des questions. On a présenté le CV. Ça, c'est le CV du NIH, qui est le plus grand bailleur de fonds au monde, dans la recherche en Afrique et au monde. Et si vraiment vous voulez avoir l'argent des Américains, il faut passer par là. Yeah.
It's extremely important, the biosketch. If you do it wrong, it'll kill the grant. Dead. No matter how good the grant is. If you do it right, it can help. But if you do it wrong, it's really bad.
Any question? I remember. Which slides?
Yes, who wants to let's share.
Yeah, we will share the slide. Yeah, we will share the slide.
So,
Let me give an example.
Yeah.
We had a R01 grant for tuberculosis with the Professor Suleiman Diallo. And it was sent in and it came back and the comments were the entire team is inexperienced. They don't have a good track record. Their training is poor. I mean, it was just terrible. It was not true. But looking at the bio sketches were I hadn't looked at them when the grant went in. I wasn't the principal investigator. Anyway, so we took the grant. I rewrote everybody's bio sketch. The next time, it was basically the same grant. What an experienced team. They're incredible. They work together. They published. They're great, and they got it. And the only thing we changed was the bio sketches. I mean, it was really incredible. So it's very important because the reviewers do not know you. They don't even know where Mali is. You know, one reviewer said, "Why are we doing this in Hawaii?" Because there's an island called Maui. That's how little they know. You have to explain everything to them. So assume that they don't even know where you're from, you know. And this is one of the places where you can tell them where you're from. And your rank, your professorship, all the grants you've had, your experience, this is really very important.
so just to note for when you get the slides, the second requirement that NIH is doing is that you must have an ORCID ID. So if you don't have an ORCID ID, you can make one for free. And I give extra slides here that show you how, so everyone will be able to do that on their own. And then you must link your ORCID ID to your Erie Commons account. So again, I show you that through these slides too. So everyone after getting these slides should be prepared to be able to go into Science CV, create a bio sketch under the new requirements, and link your ORCID ID following the new requirements.
Good. Est-ce qu'il y a des questions? Bon, les questions en français sont acceptées. Présentez-vous.
Bonjour tout le monde, moi c'est Manquez, je suis ingénieur en maintenance hospitalière. Ma question est la suivante, je voudrais savoir si les amis s'investissent dans le domaine de la maintenance, s'ils appuient la maintenance. Merci.
So, thank you. So the question is about the maintenance. So, moi, je vais répondre directement à la question parce que nous sommes là dans le cadre d'un projet qui s'appelle Building the Next Generation of Researchers in Mali. Et nous avons développé avec nos collaborateurs de l'ENI, le directeur de l'ENI, le professeur Maïga sont là, un programme de formation à l'ENI sur l'ingénierie biomédicale. Et dans l'ingénierie biomédicale, la maintenance est une partie de l'ingénierie biomédicale. Qui dit ingénieur biomédical dit la fabrication des médicaments, des équipements, le design et la fabrication. Et celui qui fabrique peut réparer, forcément. Donc, peut-être qu'on va donner la parole à l'équipe de l'ENI pour mieux s'investir là-dessus. Mais oui, la maintenance biomédicale fait partie intégrante de la formation que nous sommes en train de délivrer à l'ENI. C'est une formation, toute une formation qui a été approuvée pour la licence, pour le master et pour le doctorat. On a commencé avec le master. On a 22 étudiants qui sont inscrits dans le programme de master, qui sont là dans la salle aujourd'hui. Nous avons un étudiant en PhD. On est en train de recruter un deuxième étudiant en PhD qui est là dans la salle, qui est M. Tidiane Defagan, qui est le chef de la maintenance de l'hôpital Gabriel Touré. Et une fois que tout ceci est fait, on va commencer le programme de formation pour la licence, peut-être dans les prochaines années. Voilà. Peut-être que je vais donner la parole au directeur de l'ENI.
Donc, merci beaucoup. La maintenance, nous avons, même moi-même, je pensais à la maintenance parce que le problème est venu comme ça. Finalement, on doit faire des formations à la demande, à la suite des besoins. Les besoins de maintenance sont fortement ressentis dans nos hôpitaux, mais nous sommes encore plus ambitieux. Nous voulons faire le design, la fabrication des équipements et des appareils de diagnostic au Mali. C'est pourquoi nous avons commencé cette formation et le 29 décembre 2023, nous avons fait un conseil de perfectionnement pour définir l'ensemble du programme de la licence jusqu'au master. Pour l'instant, il y a le master qui est en cours, et les prochaines années, la licence va commencer. Ce n'est pas seulement, quand j'ai été là-bas aux États-Unis l'année dernière, j'ai pu élargir ma connaissance sur ce qui est l'ingénierie biomédicale, parce que moi je pensais seulement aux appareils électroniques. J'ai vu que l'ingénierie, ça va jusqu'au tissu, du tissu du corps. Et donc, il y aura, nous allons développer ces formations, et je crois que les prochaines fois, on parle des grandes anti-tuberculose, au sida, etc. Je crois qu'on va parler des grandes aussi en ce qui concerne la conception des appareils diagnostiques en médecine. Et même merci.
Ok. Yes. Vous voulez parler?
Oui, un peu.
Ouais.
Moi, en tant que président de l'association des ingénieurs et techniciens biomédicaux du Mali, ça me réconforte plus d'un titre. Et moi, il y a encore une question que je vais poser parce que je ne sais pas pourquoi vous avez commencé par le master et avoir la licence. Moi, je crois que vous devez commencer par la licence avant de venir au master. Est-ce que vous avez un programme de recyclage, non diplômant, de recyclage des techniques qui sont sur place, parce que chaque fois la technologie évolue, il faut qu'on augmente les niveaux des gens pour que ce soit à la hauteur de ces techniques.
Peut-être qu'on va donner la parole à Abdoulaye.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Au juste, on a ouvert ce master parce que c'était des médecins et des techniciens, c'est-à-dire que des scientifiques. par exemple, qui ont fait la licence déjà en biomédicale, on a essayé de réunir ces deux, parce qu'ils ont déjà une licence. Tous ceux qui sont là-bas ont la licence. Maintenant, la maintenance au juste, ce n'est pas pour l'ingénieur biomédical. La maintenance, nous, on veut ouvrir une licence professionnelle et les techniciens supérieurs qu'on va former par la suite. Mais pour le moment, c'est une ouverture et vraiment, c'est une chance qu'on a eue avec Mustafa. Avec le directeur de l'ENI, on a essayé de voir pour déjà le département existe. À partir de l'année prochaine, normalement, on va mettre de nouveaux bacheliers. Maintenant, les bacheliers vont aller à licence. Cette licence, il y a des gens qui peuvent aller à licence professionnelle, il y a des gens qui vont partir en licence générale. Donc, ceux qui vont aller en licence générale peuvent aller en master. Et les licences professionnelles, ils sont maintenancées directement. Directement. Il y a le cycle technicien supérieur également qui a ligne. Là, c'est bac plus 2 ans. La licence, c'est bac plus 3 ans. Vous avez compris?
Je vais ajouter un peu. Et pourquoi nous avons commencé par le master? Là-dedans, déjà dans les hôpitaux, il y avait des personnes qui avaient ces pratiques qui n'étaient pas forcément, qui ne connaissaient pas les sciences médicales, mais qui étaient des électriciens sortis de l'ENI, etc., etc. Donc, si on les amène dans la classe avec ceux qui connaissent la science médicale et on enseigne ces questions-là, ça va améliorer leurs connaissances dans les choses et donner la capacité. Parce que pour concevoir un appareil pour diagnostiquer une maladie donnée, il faut savoir comment la maladie se manifeste et quels sont imaginer quels sont les capteurs qu'on va faire pour diagnostiquer la maladie. Et c'est pourquoi, à la destination de ces personnes, pour l'instant, on a pris les années à venir et très bientôt, et nous pensons à l'année prochaine, on va commencer par le commencement. Merci.
Alors, ce que je voulais ajouter aussi, une des raisons pour lesquelles on a commencé avec le master, c'est qu'on va former des personnes qui vont avoir la capacité d'être recrutées au sein des programmes de formation à l'ENI pour être des enseignants dans le département d'ingénierie biomédicale. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, il faut reconnaître qu'on n'a pas de professeur d'ingénierie biomédicale au Mali. Donc aujourd'hui, c'est le professeur Marc Bloxberg qui est en train de nous encadrer pour pouvoir faire ce master de tout ce programme, qui est professeur d'ingénierie biomédicale à Nord-Ouest. Donc, il va nous aider pour former des étudiants en master, des PhD, pour qu'on puisse avoir des professeurs qui vont complètement prendre le relais pour assurer la formation au niveau universitaire. Maybe it's in French. We are talking about PhD program, so that's so it's in French. Let me have the last question, and we will give you the floor to have a comment.
Good afternoon. My name is Hanimamin Sidani. I'm in second year pharmacy. And my question is about the biosketch. I wanted to know if there are some best practices for early career researchers who are just starting to build their biosketch. What are some practices they can use? Thank you.
Okay.
Very good English, thank you. Look for opportunities to get involved with your mentors or within the lab so that you can do some tangible things. Again, as Jane Hall said, go with where you're interested in. You don't want to be stuck with a lot of experiences that don't match where you want to do research later. But then at that point, again, you kind of have to think a little creatively of, what did I do on this project? Did I help organize the meetings? Did I help write the protocols? Did I help talk to between the lab personnel and the PI to help make sure things stayed on track? And just kind of think about how you can separate those into different contribution paragraphs. It is okay if when you are first starting off and you are very junior, if you do not have a lot of publications. That is okay. The idea is that those will grow as you do the contributions to science, and as you start working with the teams, those publications will start to grow. But really look for opportunities and then just think, and maybe keep a list somewhere in a notebook of tangible things that you have done on the projects that you can recall back and be able to say statements about. Like, I was the data manager. I helped manage the lab team with the PI. I helped organize these meetings. Even I, not a hard researcher, has a biosketch and have a few things listed I went to. I helped organize the training meetings and track trainee data, things like that. So really just think creatively about what you've been able to do on the projects and what you can say about your work.
I will give the floor to Matt for just a few words about the BME program before we switch to the last presentation.
Thank you. I do not follow much of the discussion, so I'm just going to give some of my thoughts. A little comment on the last question, just to add to what Elizabeth said. It is true that as a young investigator, you not expect to have any publications. But, and I don't want to overstep myself here, but what I advise my students to do is have a conversation with your mentor. And while you don't need to have publications, it's much better if you do have publications. And so having that discussion with your mentors is really important. They can help you get your CV together. They can make it work. My name is Matt Clôture, and I've been involved with this program since it started. And my role is maybe to provide some advice on structure. I've been in biomedical engineering now for more than 30 years. I watched biomedical engineering grow. It wasn't a field when I was in school, but it's become a field. And was there watching it, so I think it was give some guidance to this group. I will be speaking tomorrow very much on engineering and engineering education, and how I believe this is the best time to be an engineer, to be a designer. You have more tools available to you than you've ever had before. Even in we were talking, I understand about a poorer country, a resource-poor environment in some cases, but there are ways to build great things. And it takes invention, it takes understanding of what's available. It really isn't eliminating one. So I look forward to talking to you about that tomorrow.
So I will give a floor to Mahmoud to moderate the next session.
Thanks, Mustafa. Thanks, everyone. We just heard from Elizabeth. I think it was very interesting. So you learn a lot. Make sure your bio sketches are ready by May. We will start emailing you. What happened most of the time, you have to write people bio sketches. So we wanted to have this, so you know how to do that. So you don't have to do your bio sketches for you. So please start building your new bio sketch from tomorrow. So we will start with the last presentation, not with this, with Anu Moisomoro. Anu, where are you? So Anu will discuss with us how to efficiently use PubMed. So most of you using PubMed, you think it's easy. But when I got to training, I learned that there are a lot of features and about after using it for years. So I don't think you have to suffer like me. We want you to be the expert of PubMed. There are a lot we can learn from No, now. So, okay. So, Anu is really one of our brilliant young investigators. So, he done a lot of great job at UCSC as a researcher on tuberculosis. So, he went to UK and KwaZulu-Natal University in South Africa for his master and PhD. So, he has a lot of experience helping the young investigator in manuscript writing and grant writing. So he will talk today about PubMed as expert. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for introducing me. Let me say before we go far, I'm not an expert for PubMed. And as a research scientist and an academic, you have to use PubMed. Because we have to use tools that will help us to get the information that we need to do our research. So, and PubMed is one of the tools that will help to gather all the information and the specific information that you need to actually conduct your research. So I'm going to talk about the efficient use of PubMed, and let me tell you, I'm not an expert, but we will all together get some information through the small experience that I have. What's happening? So let me say that it will be like a lecture, just data presentation. There will be a lot of screenshots to show you some steps, how to use PubMed. Through the lecture, I hope you will get some information that through practice you'll be able to use efficiently PubMed. Slide please. Mr. Matthew, is it right? Okay. And chair, okay? Huh? Oh, silver. Okay. Hello, Mr. Matthew. Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Matthew Glucksberg. I'm a professor of biomedical engineering at Northwestern University in Chicago.
Okay. My first question would be, how are new biomedical technology transforming HIV and...
I'm sorry, I can't hear with the...
I want to know, how are new
new biomedical technology transforming HIV/TB diagnostic.
You're talking to Sally. Yes, I'll try. But biomedical engineering is now a very mature discipline. We work very hard to apply those technologies to diagnostics. In particular, we're looking at diagnostics to identify and treat people with tuberculosis.
Okay. Right now, what is the Africa's position in biomedical engineering research today?
Biomedical engineering in Africa is developing very quickly. It's a well-educated population. The students are very interested. And one of the things that you do in engineering is to find ways to build things at reasonable cost. So there's the task in the United States is often to build without regard to cost, but engineers know how to build things at low cost, and that's important.
And you are here in Mali to help to generate the new search engineer. How is your job?
I am here in Mali to consult only as far as I think it's worthwhile. What I need to do is let you know how we've handled design, biomedical engineering, and engineering education research. But we're not going to tell you how to do it. We have developed our own methods. We've developed a lot of technologies in the U.S., but that is not what people in Mali need. People in Mali need to learn what we've done, but to invent for themselves.
Okay. Can we hope that ensure that in next year, Africa and Mali as Africa will get the great researcher, engineer in biomedical industry?
Well, Mali, like a lot of countries in Africa, but especially what I've seen here, certainly has the talent to bring biomedical engineering ideas and methods to the problems of Mali, particularly in infectious disease, particularly in cancer treatment and diagnosis. Mali is moving forward very quickly. And again, it's going to be Mali and other African countries solving the problems themselves. And if we can help, that would be wonderful.
Thank you much.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
database or references of an abstract of life science and biomedical topics. So in PubMed, we have all those databases regarding life science and biomedical
Hello, Mr. Bonjour. Ça va? Okay. I have two questions for you. First, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. I'm Professor Robert Murphy from Northwestern University in Chicago, where I'm the Executive Director of the AV Institute for Global Health.
Okay. What is the vision of the Next-Generation project for HIV/TB research in Africa?
Oh, this is a very important project that actually attempts to build the whole research infrastructure right here in Mali, on the ground, with the local people at the university, the academics and the engineers and the medical people, to actually have them make the products that you need here in Mali and the region to fight all the components related to HIV infection. So that includes tuberculosis, which is actually a bigger problem than HIV itself, but it includes everything involving anything related to HIV, including many of the cancers that are associated with it, like cervical cancer in women.
Okay. Today, what is the current challenge and how the scientific community overcome them?
Can you say the question again?
The challenges. Huh? What are the current challenges and how the scientific community overcome them?
Well, the challenges are always in getting a program this big, getting it started and off the ground. But we've been successful in creating a department of biomedical engineering at the National Institute for Engineering here in Bamako. We've been able to coordinate the faculties from the medical school and the engineering school, set up a faculty, train the faculty in how to make these products. So it's a big step, but it's ongoing and it has started. So this is a tremendous beginning, but we have a lot more work to do.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you very much. C'était la question.
Okay. Two questions. Mais est-ce yeah. Only two questions. Do you want to add anything else? No.
Do you think we got enough?
Thank you.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
So I don't need to go through a lot of review to look for the articles, but through the future I will reduce all these things and get what exactly I'm looking for. So, as we saw the homepage, the department homepage, now we need to build. Thank you. So we need to build a place for such a particular article of interest. So now, let's say that I'm in a research domain where I work on cancer. So I need to build a specific queries for searching particular article of interest. So we need first to identify your search keywords and keywords or key phrases, and you enter into a public search box to start a search. So the best way is to know clearly what information you are looking for. So if you don't know exactly the information you're looking for, you won't be more specific. So you have to be specific and very clear about what topic I'm looking for. So then, if you have an idea, you construct your research question and you break them down to get your specific keywords. And if you have to specific keyword, you can go individually with the keywords or key phrases, or you can decide to combine the keyword or
or to search the information you're looking for. So let's take an example. Like I'm interested in looking into interleukin 10 genetic variation in cervical cancer. So the interest is to study interleukin genetic variations and its impact on cervical cancer development. So I have already an idea. So my supervisor said that, okay, go look at it, go look for the literature search and bring me an abstract of what you have found. So I have it. Now I need to break them down and get the specific information about that topic. So like I want to review as well all studies that have mutation in interleukin 10 to the cervical cancer development. That's another topic, but linked to the first one as well. And I want as well to find an original paper. So now is a specific paper that I'm looking for, because I know some information about the paper, but I want to get a specific paper using PubMed. And let's say that we know the information like interleukin polymorphism that contribute to cervical cancer risk. So here is how we can bring them down to get a search query. So let's say that you are interested in studying interleukin genetic variation and its impact on cervical cancer development. So let's say that I want to build keywords. Keywords which is important here and which need to appear in the toolbox of PubMed, on the homepage of PubMed is interleukin 10 genetic variation and cervical cancer. So I need those information. Those are my keywords. That's why I highlighted them. So, like, if you want to review all the studies that are also linked to the mutation of interleukin 10 to cervical cancer development, as well, we have mutation, which can be one of my keywords, interleukin 10, which can also be my keywords, and the cervical cancer development as well. So, and for the third one is I have the authors, the year, and the specific interleukin and the polymorphism that contribute to cervical cancer. So I have different information about this paper. So for this, I'm looking for one paper. It's a one specific paper that I'm looking for. So if I'm using PubMed, and PubMed has to bring me that specific paper I'm looking for, not others. But if I have to go to Google, I will be getting more other information, not the single paper. But with PubMed, I will definitely get one paper. So let's try to search using our key phrases. Like initially I said that I'm interested in interleukin 10 genetic variation. Let me look for using PubMed to see what are the information, what are the articles that I'm going to get using those keywords. So after the search, let's see that we have 4,000 results. So PubMed is giving me 5,000 publications. So if I have to go through all those publications, but I put only interleukin 10 genetic variation, and it's not enough information for me. It won't answer my question. Of course, interleukin 10 genetic variations are there. That is not enough because I need cervical cancer as well. That meaning that there's something missing. So I have so much information about it, and I have to bring that down to get the specific information I'm looking for. So that's how the PubMed homepage is represented. So you have the first paper, which is a genetic variation in GR1. So it gives you the title, the author's name, and a summary of the abstract. And at the left side, we have the PubMed will tell you as well that this paper is research from 1992 till today. So you can also bring down, if you just say that, okay, I'm looking for an information from 2020 to 2025, it will bring the last number down. So, and the third thing is that here we have some filters. So I need information only for 1 year, for 5 years, for 10 years, and you will have that custom range. You can decide the range where you want that information to come from. And if you want the abstract, the full text, then it can also bring you when using the filters. So, and we said that we're gonna do an efficient use of PubMed, and for efficient use of PubMed, we have to use advanced search.
Alors, bon, est-ce que vous pouvez vous présenter, s'il vous plaît?
Bonjour, je m'appelle Dr Fatoumata Tata Traoré. Je suis pharmacienne biologiste au laboratoire Explication avec le professeur Al-Mustafa.
D'accord, ok. Et est-ce que vous pouvez, dans le cadre du projet bienvenue de Next Generation of Rechercheurs, est-ce que vous pouvez nous expliquer votre projet de recherche?
Okay. Mon projet de recherche, c'est de voir l'efficacité du vaccin contre l'hépatite B chez les enfants infectés par le VIH, depuis la naissance jusqu'à l'adolescence. Voir si le vaccin, s'ils sont vaccinés tôt, si le vaccin est efficace ou bien s'il faut augmenter la dose du vaccin contre l'hépatite.
On va répondre. D'accord. Donc on reprend. Voilà. Présentez-vous s'il vous plaît.
Ok, bonjour, je m'appelle Dr Fatoumata Tata Traoré. Je suis pharmacienne biologiste au laboratoire ICRC. Je suis avec le professeur Al-Mustafa Ishaka Maïga.
D'accord, ok. Expliquez-nous votre projet de recherche.
Mon projet de recherche, c'est axé sur l'efficacité du vaccin contre l'hépatite B chez les enfants infectés par le VIH, depuis la naissance jusqu'à l'adolescence. Voir si s'ils sont vaccinés tôt, si c'est efficace et si la vaccination impacte sur l'évolution du VIH.
D'accord, ok. Quand est-ce que vous avez commencé ce projet?
Je l'ai commencé il y a 2 ans. Oui.
Et ça va durer combien de temps pour pouvoir avoir...
Non, c'est cette année. Je soutiens le projet cette année.
Cette année. D'accord, ok. Maintenant, comment ce symposium-là, de Next Generation, contribue à votre parcours scientifique et professionnel? Est-ce que ça apporte quelque chose à votre parcours scientifique et professionnel?
Scientifiquement, c'est un symposium m'éclaire. Ça me permet d'avoir un objectif clair et de me tracer un plan dans ma carrière professionnelle, surtout sur la recherche, où les femmes ne sont pas beaucoup. Sur le plan de la recherche.
Il n'y a pas beaucoup de femmes dans le domaine de la recherche.
Pas tellement. Maintenant, on en voit de plus en plus. Voilà, donc ce symposium me permet d'avoir une chance de rencontrer les acteurs, de faire des connaissances dans d'autres domaines.
D'accord, ok. On vous remercie.
Merci
beaucoup. Voilà.
Depuis ici, ça arrête, ils ne vont pas voir allumer. Moi, c'est pas là-bas, moi,
toi, tu éteins, moi, je n'ai pas éteint.
Moi, éteint. On s'en batterie. Non, j'ai vu que le voyant n'est pas allumé en même temps. Mais c'est fini. Après lui, là, c'est le professeur qui clôture. Ils ont dit, il y avait un pause café, mais je suis que c'est moi aussi pour pause café. Les gens vont glisser. Donc, c'est lui-même qui a dit non.